Today's technology briefing is about one big theme: AI is moving out of demos and into operating environments where security, infrastructure cost, regulation, and trust all matter at the same time. In the next few minutes, Anthropic's Claude Science points to AI agents in research workflows. TechCrunch reports a Pegasus spyware case involving a politician who investigated spyware abuse. Ars Technica flags a stealthier macOS infostealer called PamStealer. NVIDIA says inference demand is pushing the industry toward continuously operating AI factories. And GitHub shows what practical secret scanning cleanup looks like at scale. Start with the AI story. The Verge reports that Anthropic announced Claude Science, described as an AI workbench for scientists that brings fragmented tools and datasets into one environment and can help generate figures. NVIDIA separately says its BioNeMo agent toolkit is being brought to life sciences researchers in Claude Science, connecting accelerated biology software and agent-style workflows. The confirmed fact is not that AI has solved drug development. The confirmed fact is that major AI and compute companies are packaging scientific work as an agentic workflow, pull data together, operate tools, reason across steps, and produce artifacts a researcher can inspect. That matters because scientific work is full of long chains: searching literature, preparing datasets, running models, checking assumptions, and documenting results. If an AI workbench can reduce friction in those chains, labs get speed. But they also inherit the classic risks of automation: bad inputs, hidden assumptions, overconfident summaries, data governance mistakes, and unclear accountability when a tool makes a recommendation. For builders, the takeaway is simple. Treat scientific AI agents like production systems, not fancy notebooks. Keep provenance for data, prompts, tool calls, generated figures, and model versions. Require human review for consequential decisions. Separate exploratory access from sensitive patient, genomic, or proprietary datasets. And make sure every agent action is logged in a way an auditor can replay. Now the cyber story. TechCrunch reports that a government customer of NSO Group used Pegasus spyware to hack the phone of a European politician who had served on an EU committee investigating the spyware industry. This is not a how-to story, it is a trust and oversight story. Commercial spyware is powerful because phones are the center of identity, communications, location, contacts, and cloud access. When the target is a public official studying spyware abuse, the democratic oversight implications are obvious. For everyday users, the lesson is not to panic that everyone is a Pegasus target. High-end spyware is typically used against high-value targets. But the defensive habits still translate: keep devices updated, reboot regularly, reduce risky message surfaces where possible, use lockdown-style protections if you are at elevated risk, and separate sensitive accounts from casual browsing and messaging. For organizations supporting journalists, activists, executives, or officials, mobile security needs budget, monitoring, and response plans, not just an annual reminder to install updates. Third, macOS malware keeps professionalizing. Ars Technica reports on PamStealer, describing it as a newly discovered macOS infostealer that is not typical and noting that the discovery underscores increased effort going into Mac infostealers. The key point for businesses is that macOS is no longer a low-attention endpoint. Developers, designers, executives, and cloud engineers often use Macs that hold browser sessions, password managers, SSH keys, API tokens, and access to code repositories. That makes infostealers dangerous even when they are not loud ransomware. An attacker does not need to encrypt the laptop if stolen browser cookies, developer tokens, or cloud credentials open a more valuable door. The practical control set is boring but effective: enforce endpoint detection on Macs, restrict unsigned software, protect password managers with strong device posture, rotate secrets quickly, and watch for new OAuth grants, suspicious repository access, and unusual cloud API calls after any suspected compromise. Fourth, AI infrastructure is becoming a cost and resilience story. NVIDIA says production inference demand is accelerating and shifting toward continuously operating AI factories that generate tokens at scale. That language matters. Training runs are dramatic, but inference is the recurring cost of AI products people actually use. If every customer support flow, coding assistant, search feature, analytics dashboard, and internal agent calls models all day, then latency, token cost, power, networking, and capacity planning become board-level issues. The practical question for companies is no longer just which model looks best in a benchmark. It is, what is the cost per useful answer? What data leaves the environment? What happens during a provider outage? And how do you prevent agent loops from spending money or taking action without limits? AI governance is partly policy, but it is also engineering, quotas, circuit breakers, evaluation suites, cache strategy, fallback models, red team tests, and clear ownership for every automated workflow. Fifth, security hygiene can scale when alerts are made actionable. GitHub says it remediated more than 20,000 secret scanning alerts across 15,000 repositories by improving prioritization and remediation workflows. That is a useful counterweight to the fear that security alerts are just endless noise. The lesson is that detection is only half the system. You also need routing, severity, revocation, ownership, deadlines, and automation that helps teams close the issue instead of simply admiring a dashboard. This connects back to AI agents. As more teams wire models to repositories, cloud tools, ticketing systems, and databases, secret exposure becomes more consequential. A leaked token is not just a developer mistake, it may become the fuel for an automated workflow that can query, summarize, modify, or exfiltrate at machine speed. Secret scanning, least privilege, short-lived credentials, and approval gates are AI safety controls as much as traditional cybersecurity controls. Finally, TechMeme highlights a Financial Times interview with Sriram Krishnan, who says there will not be an FDA for AI under Trump and criticizes parts of the industry's doomer messaging. The policy takeaway is uncertainty. If AI regulation remains uneven, companies cannot wait for one perfect regulator to define safe deployment. They need internal standards that survive politics, model evaluations before launch, incident reporting, data controls, secure by default integrations, and a clear line between experimental agents and agents allowed to touch production systems. Here is the bottom line. AI agents are becoming research assistants, infrastructure workloads, and business automation layers at the same time that spyware and infostealers are targeting the devices and identities those systems depend on. The winning teams will not be the ones that simply add AI everywhere. They will be the ones that can prove what their agents did, limit what they can touch, keep secrets out of code, secure every endpoint, and measure cost and risk before the loop runs at scale.